Hi, it's Chris Paradise. It's really great to connect with so many of you, lots of people I know out there, many of you whom I don't know, but it's really great to reconnect with you at a time when maybe the haze is pulling back a little bit, but over my time at PMX Agency and Forward PMX and startups and other companies I've been involved with or started or founded or whatever, there was never anything more important to me for sure and the businesses that I've been involved with than people and connecting with people. And I always said connecting in a profound way, and I really meant that. I think in a hyperbole world that maybe didn't hit home, but boy, does it hit home now. And the ability to connect with people who actually say, "How are you doing?" and they wait for the answer, and you do the same, is something I do think is permanent and maybe one of the few silver linings coming out of a tough situation. So I'm sitting with tea, not coffee. That's what quarantining will do, is line up the tea as opposed to pounding down espresso around the corner in New York City. But and behind me, yes, I've got my friends for inspiration on the wall, my guitars I love to play. So I thought I would connect a bit, catch up with you all, let you know what I'm up to and a little bit of what I'm seeing, but I'm speaking a bit about the permanence of these relationships and this connection that people do want to have. And I do very much see a similarity here as to what happened in 9/11 and what happened even back to the AIDS crisis around the world. This sudden kind of interruption that became a disruption that is now, I think it's cellular, so many of these changes, meaning that it's now in us because it's been such a sustained amount of time. And we're now figuring out not just what happened and will I survive and can I get the government loan or the government forgiveness, but what am I going to do next? And as an organization, really spending time on what am I about? This product, this service, this mission. Is this something that people really care about? And you get a chance to step back and reset that in your personal life and in your professional life, which is difficult. It's always been difficult, but we get an opportunity to really be objective about those things and be able to correct them. Painfully to do that, but it is incredibly important. And so I've started a business called the Advisory Labs at the end of 2019 that's exactly centered on that. What is the mission? What is the brand's purpose? What is the reason anybody would care about you? And are you telling that story? And do we know that? Not do we think we know it? Can we make an assumption about that's what it is? Or worse, make a conclusion that's certainly what it is. When in fact, all of us are figuring out what we thought was true isn't. And businesses are figuring out what's essential and maybe what's not. We hear lots of stories about businesses and organizations that thought this was who they were and what defined them, and in fact, nobody cared about that. What they cared about was something very, very different. And I won't go there because there's just lots and lots and lots of examples. But you all know them as you wait for boxes to arrive and shopping and things that you have to do. So the Advisory Labs is something that will start this week. A website will drop this week with a bit of description about what I'm up to and this team of people that I've assembled, a terrific team that's coming together to very, very much focus on that for small and mid-sized businesses specifically. They really are the ones that oftentimes don't have the depth of all the talent they really need or the research or the analytics capabilities to really figure out some of these tough answers. So that's the Advisory Labs. And we're also doing some investments in businesses that we're involved with, but also startups. There is a startup I'm excited about called Adventure Explorations, which is what it sounds like, using adventure, both outdoors and online, digitally, to rebuild teams, to create the essence again of connecting with our management teams and our leadership teams, bringing people back together again, using activities and adventures of all kinds to be able to kind of get back to the heart of what it is we care about and the teams that we work with. And so that is starting in the next 4 to 6 weeks, from hiking to Italian cycling tours to rock climbing, fly fishing, kayaking, canoeing, and so on, and some of the things out in the future, like Jeep tours and all kinds of things. So this was started pre-virus, but it really is becoming something that I think people are excited about as we start to come back around and go outside for more than just walk the dog. So that's coming up, and it's something that's very much true to what I'm interested in, which is people. And I do want to say one thanks to everybody who's been connecting, and my family for putting up with crazy insanity. But also to say to anybody who's still out there listening to the video, connect with people. The need is enormous for those everyday workers that just don't hear enough clapping, to those that are on the front lines that should hear it as much as they are. Connect with people, not by text, but with a voice. Swing by someone's house, drive by if you have a car, and give a wave. It's their birthday or an anniversary, or just to stop and honk and say, hey, I miss you. You're a great friend, and I love being with you, and I love your family, or whatever. So it is a time to connect. It really is a way that kind of business becomes more purposeful. You might say that it's really our divinity, a more deeper, more profound understanding of how do we push forward as people and as businesses. But thanks very much. I appreciate the time that you set aside maybe to listen to this, and I will see you soon.